Hello and welcome back to the Energy Connect studio at Gastech 2024 in Houston. I'm delighted to have in the studio sitting next to me, Patrick Hughes, Senior Vice President of Government and External Affairs at Mexico Pacific. Patrick, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
To start off, how critical is the role of LNG in ensuring a reliable, affordable, as well as low-carbon energy pathway for the industry?
Well, LNG is known as an incredibly dynamic and versatile fuel. And I think its role in the global energy landscape is still only just getting started, if you can believe it. I know it's been around for 60 some odd years at this point, and so it's been quite a while. It's had a wonderful history to date. But the role of LNG is still growing very rapidly, and we expect that the role will expand quite precipitously, particularly in certain markets around the world. If you look at Energy Information Administration, EIA data, as well as International Energy Agency data on the global scale, it's quite well understood at this point that there are still upwards of 750 million people without access to electricity. It's a staggering number. And LNG can really play a wonderful role in helping to enable that access to the global population. So we expect that in the coming years, as we identify better and more efficient ways to produce LNG, that the role of LNG will continue to grow.
That's a huge opportunity, and within that landscape, could you talk to us about Mexico Pacific's recent successes in terms of both projects and partnerships?
Sure. So Mexico Pacific is developing what's called the Saguaro Energía LNG facility, which is on the west coast of Mexico. It's in a town called Puerto Libertad, which is in the state of Sonora. Our business plan involves leveraging the abundant and low-cost natural gas resources in the Permian Basin here in the United States, in fact, here in the state of Texas. And what we're doing is taking associated gas, which is gas associated with liquids production in the basin. We are putting that gas into a pipeline, transporting the gas across northern Mexico, and delivering it to our facility in Puerto Libertad, where we will turn it into LNG and load it onto ships for our customers to send to Asian markets. What makes us special, I think, is not just the business model, as it were, and the fact that we are much closer to the Asian markets, and we call Asia the engine room of global LNG demand. It is truly, far and away the largest market for LNG in the world. But more than the business model and more than the economic rationale, or at least equally important, as I'd say, is the social and the environmental benefits that we're very proud to put forth as part of this project. We've adopted a development philosophy that we think is very unique. That development philosophy we characterize very simply as delivering large-scale energy infrastructure the right way. And to us, what does that mean? Well, that means really three things in particular. The first is we've consciously designed both our pipeline and our LNG terminal to entirely avoid environmentally protected areas, to entirely avoid indigenous communities, and to entirely avoid population centers by a minimum of 5 kilometers throughout the entire pipeline route, the terminal, and in fact even in the shipping routes in the Sea of Cortez out to the open waters of the Pacific Ocean. So that makes us unique. The second is we've made unprecedented social investment commitments to each and every community along our pipeline route, from the Mexican border with the U.S. at Guadalupe in the state of Chihuahua, all the way through 6 municipalities in Chihuahua and another 10 municipalities in the state of Sonora. And we've spent the last many months getting feedback from those communities to understand what the needs are in those locations, and to really make commitments and make lasting partnerships with the communities where we will develop and operate our infrastructure. And then the third is a skilled workforce development commitment. We've partnered with a local industry association called CIMIC to ensure that we have apprenticeships and job training programs that enable access for those local communities to have lasting opportunities in the development of our project. I say all of this because ultimately you asked about partnerships. And we're very proud to have developed partnerships at the federal, the state, and the municipal level in Mexico And what that's resulted in is an incredible level of support across the government in Mexico. We have specific relationships with both the state of Sonora and the state of Chihuahua. We're working closely with each of the municipalities, as I mentioned, along the pipeline route, and the municipality of Pitiquito, where we're building the facility. And we're incredibly blessed to have the level of support that we do. And in summary, believe that this is just an incredible investment climate, investment environment that Mexico has created to attract investments like ours.
That's an excellent example of balancing people, planet, and progress.
Yes.
And I think visitors, delegates got a glimpse of that whole body of work here at Gastech, where you are a co-host.
Yes.
What's been the experience like?
This is really a gathering of some of the industry's leaders, many of the industry's leaders from all over the world. As I understand it, I think we have delegates from over 120 countries. That's what LNG does, right? It's an incredible industry. There's tremendous innovation. People really rise to the challenges and the opportunities that we as an industry face. And this is always a great week and a great gathering to connect or to reconnect with colleagues as we, as I say, look to address both those challenges and those opportunities.
Patrick, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for being in the studios.
Thank you for having me. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on social media for constant coverage of the energy industry. I'll be back with more studio interviews from Gastech 2024 in Houston. Stay tuned.